Hello, I'm Philip Beyer. Welcome to my filibuster on removing business frustrations. Did you know that every business frustration is due to a lack of a system? Did you know that every business frustration you encounter is preventable? And did you know there is a way to fix them permanently? How do I know? We did it. Now keep listening and I'll show you how we did it. Every business frustration meets its Waterloo, its demise, when encountering the right opposing force. In other words, when one of those pesky business issues meets head-on with a system designed to stop it, its defeat is self-evident. And what's amazing, you can measure its defeat. How do I know? We soundly defeated these frustrations time after time. In fact, we became experts in battling these frustrations, but more importantly, winning wars. Where do you start in the war on business chaos? You start by making the decision to go to war with these frustrations and don't turn back. Then you define what is the number one enemy, your biggest business frustration, the one that causes the most pain, stress, and loss in time and money. Now, it's only logical that if you were on a sinking boat due to several gaping holes, you would plug the biggest hole first. In like manner, our biggest hole was losing time and money in production caused by stupid errors. Consequently, we had a lot of redos, rework of jobs. In fact, I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but years ago we had a $30,000 mistake. But the good news is we battled that frustration of losing our shirt due to a high waste ratio, which was 7 to 10% of total sales. We fought that waste down to 1.5 to 2%. That, my friend, saved us a lot of money. In fact, we did it in just a matter of weeks. How did we do it? Simple. First, we made the decision to go to war against chaos, and then we implemented a quality control system in the most crucial area of our production process, our biggest hole. Next, we implemented quality control checklist upstream and downstream in our overall production process, plugging every hole one at a time. Now, we have examples of these quality control checklists on our website. In fact, you can download them for free by just typing the word free in the search field and see what pops up. Oh, now by the way, if you're a service company, this method for removing business frustrations works the same way. The only thing that separates service from manufacturing is the process. In other words, a process is a process is a process. Now, folks, organization through systemization may seem difficult, but really it's quite simple. But it does take some patience and time. But oh, happy day when you're finished. Now, every business owner knows where the holes are in their company because they deal with them every day of the week, not to mention nights and weekends. Okay, now let's identify some frustrations business owners deal with daily and how to stop them in their business. Now, for the following examples of business frustrations, our business owner will be named Bob. Okay, a manager walks in the owner's office in a panic and says, "Hey, Bob, did you know that Mark and Bill Bailey, our lead techs, are both on vacation next week, and we're supposed to start that big job you promised the customer to have finished and delivered by the end of next week? Now, Bob, how are we going to do that with two of our main people out?" Now, friend, as a business owner, that'll ruin your day. However, there's a system to fix that. A simple system, really, called Request for Leave, whereby everyone can see on the company calendar who's in and who's out. Employees wanting leave simply look at open dates and submits a request for leave to management stating what days they're requesting off. Now, after management receives the leave request, they can approve or deny it. Now, if approved, the request is auto-posted on the company-wide calendar. Now, if a company has a critical period where everyone needs to be available, then management simply blocks out those dates. Yes, another frustration battle won very simply. Now, let's look at another frustration owners confront constantly. The owner walks out in the shop, and a manager stops him and says, "Hey, Bob, I've been asking Willie Paul to pick up the shop rags around his work area and put back the keys to our delivery van where I told him. Bob, I just can't seem to get Willie to remember anything, and now he's out today because his dog needs to go to the vet, and guess what? We don't have any keys to the company van. Bob, do you have an extra key laying around somewhere?" Now that's a double frustration. The manager is frustrated and the owner's frustrated. Why? Because both must stop and deal with this silly little event of a missing key. And yet, this silly little issue, along with hundreds of other problems management face, has a simple fix that will stop all of them. How do I know? We stop them. In fact, I go in depth about this in my book called System Busters: How to Stop Them in Your Business. Do you know these silly little frustrations added together cause big trouble, and is why many companies have a high turnover of employees? In fact, many good employees are lost because of stupid little frustrations that mount up, not to mention the time and money that's lost. Okay, so what's the fix for old Willie Paul, who's having a tough time remembering to put back the van keys before leaving? A daily routine checklist for him and all key personnel. For example, if Willie Paul's daily routine checklist had a prompt that said, "The Ford F-100 van keys returned to designated location before leaving the building," that one prompt would solve this one frustration for everyone. To make the system even better, a labeled and designated location for the key should be set up. In fact, we had a key system with extra keys for all company keys. Now imagine all employees using a daily routine checklist with prompts for completing all the processes that keeps the business running smoothly. Now, for example, prompts to submit repair requests on equipment, complete preventive maintenance on equipment, vehicles, even the building. Return all tools and other items to designated locations. Now, this would be very helpful for those struggling with lean management. How about prompts for the bookkeeper to pay certain taxes and submit various financial reports to the owner? These hundreds of items are what employees are paid to do and must do for the business to not only operate smoothly, but grow. Now, sadly, in most companies, employees perform processes by memory. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work very well. Again, in our book, we go in depth about how to develop daily routine systems the right way, a way that works. Okay, you're thinking we tried this system stuff before, so tell me, how do I get my employees to do them? Now, folks, that's one of the top questions we get from owners: how to keep people on the system. I've shared many times in blogs, videos, and in my book about a system that keeps all systems up and running continually and consistently. It's the secret sauce, the follow-up systems for all systems. In short, the systems auditor, a tool called the System Buster Locator. Now, the big boys like Toyota refer to this type system as CAPA, corrective action, preventive action. How does it work? Simple. Now let's say Willie Paul, the employees we mentioned earlier, empowered with his daily routine checklist, prompting him to return the van keys to the designated location at the end of the day, but old Willie Paul was in a hurry to get home to his dog. So he just checks the boxes on his checklist before performing any of the prompts. In fact, Willie puts a check by the prompt indicating he put the van keys back, but really ends up taking them home and forgets them. The next day, no keys, so Willie Paul asks a supervisor for an extra key. Now, at first glance, that doesn't bode well for the systems we promote. And you may be thinking, see, having a daily routine checklist doesn't work. because it seems we're right back where we started before implementing this system. And old Willie Paul's behavior has not changed. Now, I get that. However, stay tuned, be patient with the System Buster Locator, the secret sauce, the system that audits all systems, now on patrol. Things will be different. Change is a-coming. To that end, the first step for the administrator using the System Buster Locator's corrective action report is to ask Willie Paul, why did he take the van keys home, and then document his answer. Willie probably will make some lame excuse. However, he has no excuse because Bob, the owner, gave him a tool, a system with a written prompt reminding Willie to put the keys back before leaving. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Willie Paul's daily routine checklist he used the day before reveals something. Willie checked the prompt that indicated he put the key back. Uh-oh, looks like old Willie Paul is busted because he didn't put the keys back. Moreover, Willie Paul lied. Now, you may be thinking that's harsh to call this a lie. Okay, let's say Willie Paul had lied about doing a critical process that cost you $30,000 like the one I said happened to us in the beginning of this video. Should Willie Paul be held accountable at that point? You decide. All right, let's get on to administering and documenting this corrective action. Okay, what happened? Willie did not return the van keys to the designated location before leaving at the end of the day. The root cause: Willie falsified his daily routine checklist. You see, not remembering is no longer an option. Next, person or persons involved: Willie Paul. The system involved: Willie Paul's daily routine checklist. The time lost: administering a corrective action usually takes about 15 minutes. In addition, let's say Willie had to go home, retrieve the forgotten van key, and return, which takes him an hour and a half. Therefore, the total time is an hour and 45 minutes. Next, the money loss. We just estimated the time loss was an hour and 45 minutes. For this example, let's say the administrator and Willie Paul's pay is $18 per hour. Therefore, the cost for this one non-conforming frustration is $31.50. Think how much money is being lost due to stupid errors in most businesses. Okay, was a system updated to fix Willie's non-conformance? Well, there's no need to update this daily routine because the correct prompt was on the checklist. Therefore, it's considered a personal error. However, if the prompt to put the keys back was not on the checklist, this would be considered a system error. That being the case, the administrator would then update this checklist by adding the correct prompt. Very simple. However, you may be thinking, I'm not going through the trouble of documenting this kind of report for some stupid keys. Now that's over the top. I say, then don't, and keep doing business as usual. However, I think you should consider the following. Don't miss this. Okay, we did the work. We administered a corrective action using the System Buster Locator. But now, here's what changes things. Willie Paul will sign this document confirming his non-conformance as a personal error. Now, what may surprise you is this. After an employee signs 2 or 3 of these corrective action reports, they will and do conform to the system very consistently, and peace reigns. How do I know? Our employees did. As a matter of fact, we measured and documented this behavior. And as a result, errors and other waste was reduced substantially in a matter of weeks. Oh, by the way, did I mention great systems work?
mellow